Seems that the Maoist issue is divided into a polarized for and against. But is that actually the case, or is a middle ground in fact possible? What about the Home Minister's comments today that all right-thinking citizens of India have got to stop sympathizing and rationalizing Maoist violence? That's our debate this evening. Let's get started straight away. I want to start with you, Veer, because you're one of the few commentators who's actually made the argument that the polarization is an artifice created, you imply, by intellectuals and human rights activists on the one hand and by the media on the other, that there is actually middle-class consensus. What do you see that consensus to be?
Well, I think the basic components of that consensus are that many of the people affected by Maoist or Naxalite violence, people in places like Jharkhand, are on the margins of our society. They get an incredibly bad deal. The Indian state has failed almost totally in dealing with them. That this should be a wake-up call to the Indian state. We can't take a simple police approach to it. We have to take extraordinary measures. We have to open up dialogues with them. We have to empower these people, make them feel that the state is responsive, that the state is not just an instrument of oppression. I don't think most people would dispute that. That leaves the issue of the violence. I think most of us would concede that if you declare war on the state, as many of these Maoists have done, then you must expect the state to fight back. For us to tell the state, no, don't fight back, even though they've declared war on you, because they claim to represent people who are at the margins, is not a valid argument.
So when Chidambaram says, and he said this, we should clarify in the context of 4 CISF Jawans being killed, he also asked why 4 policemen who are guarding, in fact, in this case, a public sector company and not an MNC or a private corporation, why they should be targeted. Is he making a rational
Absolutely.
point?
I think one of the more silly things about this debate is if you say the tribals in India have been very badly treated, that does not oblige you to accept that democracy is a joke, as some people have said, or that capitalism must be put an end to, that India should abandon the free market. This is the bogus argument that's been smuggled into it. Yes, maybe some corporations will benefit, maybe they won't. That's not really the point. The point is that even if there's a nationalized industry, a public sector undertaking, the attitude of the Maoists is much the same.
All right. Dilip Simin, you know, while all of us comment without knowing, you're somebody who's done this journey. You've been a Naxal. What made you stop being one?
I found that the doctrine of virtuous murder does not appeal to me. Quite simply, I don't think that anything...
That's beautifully put, actually.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Phrase.
Yeah.
Although I think that there is a great deal, I'm not a Naxalite sympathizer and have not been one for many, many years. So the Home Minister's comment passes me by.
No, but most seriously, I think I would be interested in knowing, when you say that the doctrine of virtuous murder does not appeal to you, do you believe that that is the doctrine of the Maoists today?
It is a doctrine, unfortunately, not only of the Maoists, but of many other people who are sitting in the mainstream of society. I mean, if I were to recommend something to the Maoists, I'd say symbolism is very powerful in India. All you have to do is to put the state really in the dock, is to ask them to remove Veer Savarkar's portrait from the Central Hall of Parliament, and if they can't do that, to put Charu Mazumdar's portrait alongside.
Tuba.com